much, better the Rangers really could have played. I think we both, and we have, are acknowledging the fact that the defensive team part of the game did get better as the season went on, even though, the shots went up here and there, and they kind of, it was a little bit of a roller coaster ride. But for the most part, and, with the guys that were in the pipes, looking at it that way too, this organization is lucky because of the deficiencies in the defense that they had three great goaltenders that basically saved their asses a ton this year. There's no doubt about it. But Lindy, he did all right. I wish him well. I'm kind of maybe surprised maybe at the Devils hiring him. But who knows what that is? How many people want to go to New Jersey one way or the other in terms of the situation that they're in. Everybody's, what have you done for me lately? Obviously, Lindy went down to Dallas, had a very little bit of success, was kind of run out of there, though, unfortunately. Torts, same thing. Torts goes to Vancouver, has a horrible year, and gets lucky, gets a second chance with Columbus, and now Lindy's going to get another chance here with New Jersey, and he's got a little less pressure because, they're kind of rebuilding there as well, too. He's going to take that experience, so it'll be all right. But the main thing I want to say,
I'm surprised, and I don't know if it comes down to money, with the Devils or anything. But I mean, for them to choose him over like Laviolette or Gallant or something like that,
I have to believe those guys didn't want to come here. They didn't want to go to Jersey.
Yeah, I mean,
I have to believe a guy like Laviolette, those guys they want to go where they can win soon. I think Lindy's more.
I was going to say, you think Gallant wants to be the defensive coach for the Rangers?
Jeez, he's too good, man. He needs to be. I mean, look, that guy could go. I mean, there's a Seattle franchise that's going to start here in another year or two. So those guys aren't really going to have to worry about that too much. But Lindy's got experience, and it's probably a nice fit for him. To come in there, and we'll see what happens. But I would have to say probably those guys. We'll find out down the road, but I got to believe those big names, they weren't up for coming here.
Yeah.
All right, what
Kevin. About?
Take care.
Yeah, that's good. you know who the Rangers I think are going to bring in? They're going to bring in Brian Leetch. I think that'd be nice.
I would love that. Who wouldn't love that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
What is Brian doing these days?
I was going to say, I don't think he has much coaching experience. You could bring Ulf Samuelsson back. That'd be a guy to bring back. Ulfie.
Yeah, well,
because he left for a job, right? Didn't he leave? He wasn't fired or anything. I think he left to go to Carolina.
All right, well, GM DeLury, what do you do here now? I mean, obviously, let's step aside and let's not look at a quick fix for argument's sake. Let's say it's a normal thing, Lindy leaves or whatever. Where does the organization go? Do they want to bring in another experienced guy here who is going to keep Quinn on his toes? Do they look to Quinn to maybe bring a couple of his guys in or a guy that he knows or whatever? I mean, what would you do here?
I was just going to say that I think that Quinn is probably going to have a lot of input in this now because I agree with you that Ruff was probably here for the last 2 years just to have that veteran coaching presence there while Quinn went through, the rigors of learning how to be an NHL coach. And now that he's gotten through, 2 years here and has probably learned a bit, from Ruff and just coaching these 2 years, they'll probably ask him, where do you want to go with this? And I don't know what his coaching staff was when he was at BU. But maybe there's a guy there that he wants to bring in and say, this is the guy I want. He knows how I want to play defense. I know how he likes to play defense, and this is going to be the guy. And I think that may be the best way to go. I mean, you want to have someone that Quinn is comfortable with. Plus, I think it's always good. And I don't know who the guy was, but maybe, new blood, fresh face. It's always a lot of the organizations go with the retreads. Obviously, that's what the Devils are doing. And maybe getting a new fresh face in here that Quinn maybe worked with at BU or at some other point in his coaching career. And I think they'll probably ask him about that. Will they go that way? I don't know. But I wouldn't mind seeing them bring in somebody unexpected.
Yeah, as long as they unexpected is fine, but with a little bit of experience.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, if the guy has coaching experience,
Because I played some DKD in my my years in line and a little bit of ice, but so I would be an unexpected choice. I wouldn't necessarily be an experienced choice. Me and you, buddy, let's go. Let's go fill out the application. Go to the website. Apply here for Rangers defensive coach. Come on,
buddy.
What
we haven't. What we haven't even talked about to move on from this, because I just don't even think this is something that happens till after the season, if the season even happens. The Rangers could get the number 1 pick in the draft, and they should definitely tank in the first round for a chance to get that first round pick. I mean, that number 1 pick.
What do you do? Am I wrong? What do you do? I mean, look at all the things the Rangers can do. They can go for this thing and win the cup, or they could chill out, tank, and get maybe get the first round. I mean, the options are wonderful.
Well, yeah, I mean, the percentages, actually, I think they have a better percentage, better chance of getting the number 1 overall pick than they do to win the Stanley Cup. So, percentage-wise, I say tank. Because if they don't, I mean, if they win that first round, I mean, they go from, potentially having, the number 1 pick to now being in the middle of the road. It's supposed to be a deep draft this year, so maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. But, if they can get Lafreniere or whatever the guy's name is, I don't know, man. That really, you want to talk about expediting the rebuild? So I don't. As much as I love this team and the way they were trending at the end of the year, it's gonna be such a crapshoot. With anybody, you don't know what these guys are going to be coming back. You don't know if somebody could get sick. You don't know if somebody could say they don't want to play. So a Boston or Penguins or Washington could, and who knows what the players are like when they come back. So the Rangers have just as good of a chance to win the cup as anybody. But, man, first round pick. I mean, first round pick. Number 1 pick. After getting the number 2 pick the year before. Man. And we all know how that always works out for teams like, Edmonton and the Islanders getting the number 1 pick every year. It always seems to help them.
I got a feeling you don't want to talk hockey during the summer. I got a feeling you want your Wednesday nights off here the rest of the way. That's what I'm
it is. No, what's going to happen is the Rangers are going to self-sabotage themselves because they're going to beat Hurricanes, and then you're just going to lose in the first round. They're going to get blown out by, whoever they play in the first round. And then we lose the chance for the number 1 overall pick.
And then we move on, KD. And we get ready for next year, which will start in October, I guess. No, that's I don't know when it's going to start. When is that going to happen?
Wait, what is it? When is what start?
I'm just.
Sorry, I was reading something, Paulie. I'm sorry, I was completely not paying attention to you at all.
No, I was just, we're joking here about, this is all speculation. We don't know what's going to happen here or whatever, but we don't even know when there's all kinds of different talk about when the next season would start. Regardless, what happens here.
Yeah.
No, it's next
like,
year and so on. And
so
forth.
it's a complete, crapshoot, and there was actually a chance, depending on what went on with the draft. Order, because they're doing the double draft order where they obviously the number 1 pick now is like the placeholder.
I don't care about any of that. Do you mind me saying that?
What do you mean?
Like the whole draft thing. Like I really
it's stupid. I don't even understand why they did that.
For me, just play the tournament. Let's see some hockey. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know why that they did that. I mean, maybe just to keep the NHL in on TV.
They have to make it work, right? You have teams that are not playing in this tournament, so they have to figure something out. I get that, but I'm like, there's no way, and I know we're joking around here about tanking and all that other stuff. Well, maybe Maybe I
No,
am.
I'm not joking. I'm
I
not
know,
joking
I
around
know,
at all.
I know. You're not joking around.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not like the players are going to tank, but
And, like,
go
you
ahead.
know, for us to be worried about guys getting sick and all that other stuff, I mean, it's just, let's just keep going forward. I mean, just when we get there, we get there. You know, we're not even there yet. And as far as the draft and, you know, and the next season, all that other stuff, it's just like, it's unbelievable how all of us are just in this, you know, it's just junk. We're just stuck in the mud here. And all we can do is just kind of wait. And every news line that comes out, every tweet, you know, the CBA, the draft, everything else, I would have to say priority number one for any fan who's been obviously here in New York and across the country and across the world here in quarantine, you know, it's a simple thing like, you know, it's been fantastic for me, like on Saturday mornings and weekday afternoons, to turn on Premier League soccer just to watch the games. They're playing. I don't care about no fans in the stands. It's just been great watching the guys play. And at the end of the day here, for all of us, especially, you know, hockey fans and rain, let's just go. I don't care if there's 8 guys left on the bench and the equipment guy has to coach the team and make the lines. Let's just play. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, if they could get, you know, and you were saying before, if they can get this testing down, where obviously all the guys coming in from wherever they're coming from, I mean, you literally have to, like, I don't know where they're going. Like, when they come back, like, where are they staying? Like, do they have them in a bubble once the training camp starts?
Yeah, of course.
Are they allowed?
Look, there's nobody staying in these hotels anyway, right?
Yeah, no. I'm just wondering what they're being allowed to do and not do at that point. Are they literally just sitting in their room getting room service and then they go down to, you know, MSG to practice wherever they're practicing?
I'm sure that's what they're doing. I mean, whether or not they can go down. Look, if you take New York, right? So if any of the guys are in here in town and playing at the Garden practicing or whatever, or at the practice facility and so on and so forth, I mean, they're here. You know, and legally, you know, if there's inside, outside dining in Phase 4 in Long Island, you can go down there. Now, if these guys are going to have protocols, it's a different situation for them. I mean, take the health thing out of the whole picture, right? So these guys have been brought back. They're getting paid millions of dollars, and they're professional athletes, and they've had the meetings. This is all going through NHLPA, all the negotiations. So, you know, and they all have their out if they don't want to come. Like I said, if guys have, you know, babies and family and they don't want to come, they don't have to come, so on and so forth. So, but the guys that do come and they're here to work. Just like everybody here in New York who's starting to slowly get back to work. Those of us who can. You know, you just do it. It's like anything else. It's like, you know, me getting back to performing locally here too, and some of the bigger bands out here too. We're doing drive-in concerts. It's just the new normal. So yes, these guys are probably following new protocols.
I think once the biggest issue they're going to have is initially in the training camps, and if they can get through that, I think once they get to the hub cities, I think they'll, knock on wood, I think they'll be okay. I think
Kevin, if that's one thing, right? Let's just go to gameplay on the ice. Guys are checking, sweating, bumping, grinding. You know, I mean, that sounds terrible the way I'm putting this across. But I mean, talk about gameplay.
Not that there's anything wrong with it, Paulie.
No, I know, but I mean, the gameplay itself is just going to be, you know, forget about all the other stuff. They can sit in their rooms and play video games and, you know, go do practice and not see each other and stay away from people and all that other stuff. But now the Rangers, who are playing the Carolina Hurricanes, those two franchises now have to trust each other, right? It's almost like, you know, it's going to be a whole new, different kind of lineup card that they hand in. You know what I'm saying? Here's our list. These guys are all, you know, negative. You know, these two guys didn't. They've been quarantined. I mean, all that stuff, right? That even before they even play the first game, and it's really hard to think about, right? But just the gameplay itself. A guy, and they're saying, like I said, a guy could test negative on a Friday, and he could get it on a Saturday.